Every time I wake up, I see this crap.
Demon Slayer's overrated!
So, Demon Slayer, the most popular anime at the moment, excluding Attack on Titan. You know, when I first saw this anime on my anime list as an upcoming anime, it piqued my interest. I saw it was getting animated by Studio Ufotable, a studio that I know makes high quality animation like the Fate series. The anime caught people by surprise, me included, when the first episode came out, with its unique storytelling that introduced demons as a main focus, as well as being one of the most beautifully animated anime to ever come out. Having a good combination of the two led way to undeniable success for the anime. But of course, with everything, not everyone's going to be a fan that admires the uniqueness of this anime. Demon Slayer is an anime that's centered around the older times of Japan, where people used swords instead of guns, cars weren't really a thing, and technology basically non-existent. And I think that kind of thing makes this anime totally hard to relate to. People that watch anime either enjoy it based on the story, the animation, and in some cases, relatability to the characters, if not the world it's based on. Of course, things like isekais are commonly based on fantasy worlds, with things like magic being common in said world, but instead of relating to the world, people start relating to the character. Sure, Subaru's in another world, but he's still from the modern era of Earth, so people put themselves in his shoes. People start asking themselves, what would I do if I was in Subaru's shoes? And in some ways, feel like they can relate to his character. But in Demon Slayer's case, there's literally nothing to relate to. You can't really relate to Demon Slayer's world, cause we live in a modern era of Earth with demons being non-existent, and we can't really relate to the characters as most of them have pretty unique personalities. Inosuke, Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Tanjiro all have completely different and unique personalities, as well as all the Hashiras. Almost every character in this show is hard, if not impossible, to relate to, and that's where it comes from. I think this might be the sole reason people see Demon Slayer being undeserving as a top airing anime. Having a totally unrelatable world combined with totally unrelatable characters leads some people to not fully enjoy the anime, as it's hard to understand something you can't really picture yourself in. But I personally think this is a wrong way of thinking, but I understand why some people would think this way. I myself felt this way during the first season of the anime. This anime was something totally new to me, so I stopped watching the anime till all the episodes were released so I could better understand and enjoy the show through binge watching. I think the same thing applied to Re:Zero, as when it first aired, people would leave every episode with more questions than answers, as there were too many things people didn't understand in the show, and having to wait weeks to finally get some answers put some people off, and some eventually dropped the show altogether. And because they dropped the show, when they see people who actually enjoy the show, they start saying things like Demon Slayer is overrated. I think people who feel like they like the show but don't really understand it would enjoy the manga much more than the anime, because the anime sometimes just leaves more questions than answers, as you have to wait week after week to finally get what's going on. So that's why I think some people view Demon Slayer as an anime carried by animation instead of the actual storytelling. Sure, it might have one of the greatest animation to ever come out from a weekly airing anime, but I don't think that's enough to put it as high as it is right now. Many people enjoy Demon Slayer's fights, as well as the story being told, and I think that speaks for itself. Many might say Demon Slayer is an overrated anime, but I think that's far from being the case, cause I too felt the same at the beginning, but after waiting for the show to end and binge watching, I was finally hooked, and I think that's still the case for many other people besides myself. So if you feel like Demon Slayer is an overrated anime and doesn't have that great of a story, I recommend binge watching or reading the manga. After you catch up to the anime, please read the manga if you feel like it's still not enough. I promise the story gets way better. If you enjoyed watching the video, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and peace.